You're not on the field, court, or ice. You're on the couch. From PG to DC, this is Coaching from the Couch with your host, CWall, delivering coverage for all DC sports teams from a hometown perspective. Nats, Skins, Mystics, DC United, Washington Wizards, Caps, Bowie State.
My name's CWall, I'm a PG girl. Down for my skins, I don't know if you heard. If you like watching sports, then I am your girl. Sit down on the couch if you not on the field. Cold on the ice, pick any sport that you want. Know that I cover it tight. What would you like? From baseball to football and more. The list can go on the whole night. Big shouts out to my HBCU fam. Never forget who I am through the wins and the losses, the highs and the lows. We gotta stay strong, so I stay 10 toes. Make the competition back. The way I kick it, make them mad, man. CWall and we live and direct. Sit back on the couch and relax. Come on.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Coaching from the Couch. This is your DC Sports Weekly Update, and I am your host, CWall. It is always a pleasure to join you all to talk about everything happening in DC sports. You all, as you all are checking in, definitely want to share with you all that because of everything going on currently with everything just happening right now with the various COVID outbreaks, tonight it's a little different. On the show today, first and foremost, make sure if you are checking in, you are clicking the like or love button so that we know you're in the building. That's first and foremost. Also, we're doing the show kind of in opposite direction of what we normally do. We're going to talk. It's all basically COVID related so that everyone knows. We are absolutely going to discuss the Washington football team first. And because the Wizards have a game coming up here in a few, then we will talk about the Wizards because we absolutely want to talk about the Wizards. But the main topic is COVID, Washington football team first. Then we are going to talk about the Wizards. Also want to make sure you all are saying hello to each other and saying hello to CWall team member, chat moderator, Joy. Has everyone chatted with Joy? And then our extended CWall team family, Dervin and Faye is on. I see the founder and CEO of Team Bullard, Lawrence Bullard, has checked in, and I am seeing some of the absolute best DC sports fans have checked in terms of what Damon and Cameron Mingo. I've seen Daryl check in. I've seen Lash check in. So hello to everyone. We're absolutely going to get into the meat of some discussions here regarding new news and new protocols with COVID. I see John Adams and Jermaine checking in. Before we get into everything, we absolutely have to take a minute to shout out our sponsors. So can we go ahead and do that first this evening? First up, RoofMax. RoofMax adds years of life to your current roof and saves you thousands of dollars. Only a fraction of the cost of a roof replacement. Minority owned and operated business servicing the DMV. Make sure you check out RoofMax's contact information here at www.getroofmax.com. There's also the number there. So make sure you check them out. Also want to run the advertisements for Uplift Property Suite coming up now. And now also Modern-ish. Okay, you guys, let's get started and let's get going. Washington football team fans, you are up first. You are absolutely up first. And we actually have some information tonight that's applicable to whatever NFL team you are a fan of. I see quite a few fans checking in just from NFL overall, and we absolutely have some information for you all. Make sure you're clicking that like and love button so that I can acknowledge you as you check in. First things first, Washington football team fans. Here is the current COVID list, and this is literally changing all the time. I want you to take a moment and take a look at this list. This started with the team over a week ago now, last Wednesday. And as the week has gone on, these are the players that have now tested positive for COVID. Let me say this. I started out by saying this in the Washington football team update show as well. Listen, first and foremost, I know that everybody, regardless of the team you're a fan of, are concerned about games. What about the games? What about the playoff spot? What about this, that, and the third? Hey, listen, first and foremost, we want to extend our heartfelt prayers to all of these players across the league, all of the staff members across the leagues with the NFL, NBA, and others that are experiencing this outbreak. This is serious. This is serious, and it should be taken very, very seriously. We are still in a pandemic. Okay, still in a pandemic. And it's not just about the players and the staff members. This is about their families. This is about their loved ones. So yes, we're going to get to the game and we're going to get to the protocols and all of that. But as a CWall Sports Entertainment family, you know, we have to first and foremost acknowledge prayers to everyone impacted by this virus. It's every time I turn around, the phone is going off with new news and new information. So we want to continuously extend our prayers because that is paramount and of importance. The game comes later. The sports part comes later because we're humans first. And we don't want our love for the game to exceed our love for humanity and who we are as people. So if you can hear the concern in my voice, I am, because some of these people I know in real life, and regardless if I didn't know them, if I knew them in real life or not, this is important. And we should be praying for everyone because it is serious. It goes beyond the game at that point. Okay, so I had to make sure that gets said because it's absolutely important to be shared with everybody. Now, moving on to, you've seen the list as of right this very second because things could change rapidly. The NFL has now shared this statement, and I have it here on the screen because I think it's important, and I want you all to read through it, right? Throughout the pandemic, we have continuously evolved our protocols to meet our goal of advancing the safety of the players, coaches, and staff. The changes we are making today aim to address the increase in cases and the advent of the Omicron variant. Effective immediately, all clubs will implement preventative measures that have proven effective. Masking, regardless of vaccination status, remote or outdoor meetings, so that means going back virtual, or you got to stay outside. Eliminating in-person meals, and no outside visitors while on team travel. We will continue to strongly encourage booster shots as the most effective protection. Finally, and based on expert advice, we will adjust the return to participation requirements for those who have recovered from COVID-19. All of these changes are grounded in our data and science-backed approach, with safety our number one goal for the entire NFL community. Now, some of the players are not all that happy with this because the reality is this. This is a virus and people are impacted. And players are like, hey, look, Where's the messaging around postponing some of these games? Where's the messaging around exactly what, you know, Joy is saying in the chat? Safety first. That is important. This is very, 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 very important. Because as of right now, nothing has been postponed. Nothing has been said, let's just hold off a week. Everybody just wait. I think right before we started this broadcast, the Rams have 9 new cases on their team. This is something that is hitting all aspects of the globe and the nation, and we're just seeing it illuminated because we're talking about sports, and this is a sports business. But that part still has not happened yet. But it is important to note that the NFL is sharing encouragement of getting the booster. So getting the booster, and also mask regardless of vaccination status. Mask regardless of vaccination status. That is letting you know, because let's be real, Washington football team is a team that can be used as an example of a team that has players on their COVID list that are vaccinated. They are. Not everybody is not unvaccinated. A lot of those players are indeed vaccinated. Now, going back to, let's see what this means. They're trying to kind of create some parameters then for vaccinated players. I'm going to get to that in a minute. I want to share this to go in a little bit more detail about the protocol updates. As was just mentioned, in-person meetings prohibited. Vaccination status does not matter anymore, folks. They're prohibited, right? And this is through the conclusion of week 15 games. So we'll see if this continues past week 15, but prohibited right now, either remote, meaning virtual, or in the practice bubble, outdoors, right? Again, indoor masking, that's important. Weight rooms, no more than 15 players may work out in a single weight room at one time. Again, regardless of vaccination status, it does not matter if you are vaccinated or not. Follow the rules, follow the guidelines tightly. Now, this one here is more protocols that change, and I know this is kind of small on the screen. I know it's definitely small on my screen, but it goes back further into through week 15. Public player and coaches appearances and charity events are prohibited. Groupings of more than 3 are prohibited from gathering outside of the club facility or team travel. Basically, you just act like everything is shut down again. Right? If you can see here again, I know that the reading here is a little tight and small on the screen, but house gatherings of more than 15, all this, don't do it. Do not do it. Now, there's also some parameters for vaccinated players. Now, here's the thing. This is very, very interesting, right? Here's the guidelines here, where now there's an opportunity to test out, if you will, if you are a fully vaccinated player. So I have this here. I think the key difference here, and these are the 3 instances in which, 2 PCR tests that are negative, 1 PCR that's negative, or a cycle threshold greater than 35, and a negative rapid test, or 2 negative rapids. Here's a key change about this that I think is very, very important to note, you all. Previously, even if vaccinated, the negative test had to come at least 24 hours apart. Now, you can get 2 negative tests in one day. and still be eligible to play. Some of the players don't like that. Some of the players don't like that. Don't like that. Now, let's also be clear, because I want to address something as well. And here's why the players don't like it. Montez Sweat tested positive for COVID well before Dallas came into town. Each day there were more players that tested positive. Each day. And per what we've learned about the virus, sometimes it takes 5 to 7 days for it to come up. So the players are like, okay, you can get 2 negative tests in a day, but the whole point was, what if that's a false negative? Folks are worried now because this is a real thing. And again, it's not just one team. It's not just 2. It's not just 3. It's not just 4. It's not just one league. It's not just 2 leagues. This is happening everybody. It's worth noting. It's worth talking about. And it's worth saying, okay, all right. Game on Sunday, Washington football team is playing the Philadelphia Eagles on Sunday. Yes, everybody knows how important the game is. But there could still be more positive tests rolling in. Nothing yet from the Dallas Cowboys since the game was on Sunday, right? Coming up with Philly, I know there is word that potentially Montez Sweat could be. Since he tested positive last Wednesday, there is a potential for Montez to come back because he's not one of the vaccinated players, and he's been open and honest about that. He would have to definitely take those 2 negative tests, or have 2 negative tests, and it's not necessarily the same day rule that applies currently for vaccinated players. What does this all mean for the game against Philly? I don't know. I don't think the team knows. I think the team is still going to do what they can to be ready for a game. But I think what players are looking for, and if player safety is important, at what point does the league step in and say, y'all know what? We're going to shut this down for a week. We're going to shut this down for a week because this is spinning out. It's spinning out, and the outbreak is real. And right now, it doesn't matter if you're vaccinated or not. The outbreak is real. The spin is real. Stop it. Hold off. Get the protocols. Get the increased, enhanced provisions to keep everyone safe. But again, knowing what we know about this virus, that it does 5 to 7 days, who's to say more players won't be coming up positive tomorrow? And if they're positive tomorrow, then that means that chances are positive today, positive the day prior. So then it becomes a trickle effect. All right, leagues, step in and just say, hold up a second. Hold up a second. If player safety is paramount, it's not going to harm you. People are still going to watch national football, professional football into March if need be, quite frankly. So, more to come, more to be seen. Is this conversation directly about the game on Sunday? Nope, it is not. Because the reality is Washington will not be playing. They might be playing with enough to play the game, but they're not going to be playing with their starters. They're not going to have all their starters. It's definitely not even going to be some of your practice squad players at this point, right? The team is still signing people as of today. Still signing people to make sure they're okay to play on Sunday. It is something that we all need to be watching closely. And they definitely sure. If you can't push dates back, hey, listen, everybody gonna be like, okay, but it probably won't be some of your absolute favorite players. It won't be them. It will not be them. So does this put this in jeopardy for folks? Absolutely. But hey, it's nobody's fault. This is something serious. This is something we've been going at and dealing with for 2 years now. And this is what it is. But at what point does the league say just hold off a week until things can get leveled out? Until some of the players who were positive in quarantine are able to come back, because the reality is teams are just going to be at a deficit. And then that will be kind of a mark of the year, right? Because if teams go in not with your top 1 or 2 player, the first thing somebody is going to say is, well, half my team was out to COVID. Washington got 21 players on the COVID list right now. We're not even going to get to IR. But if you play on Sunday and they lose to Philly, hey, they could win. But you lose to Philly, because anything can happen, right? Any given Sunday, sure. But if they lose, then the first thing to say is, well, I was at an unfair advantage because I could not even play with my team. Which one is it? Which one is it going to be? Kind of unfair if you ask me. And it's not safe either, because it's still going to trickle. It's still going to continue to trickle. So we shall see what happens. The players aren't happy. And hey, it's still a lot that could be said about if you're not able to full go, when does somebody step in, especially if you know that there's a strong possibility that as days go on, it's going to be a trickle in and out of players. You're dealing with the outbreak, and that's just the luck of the draw. Wizards up against the same sort of deal, right? The Wizards, the NBA, we're seeing the surge spike there as well. And right now, see, the Wizards kind of skated it a bit with what was going on with Indiana last week. Right? Kuzma was able to come out of health and safety protocols and play against the Sacramento Kings. But going into the game against the Sacramento Kings, they announced that the head coach had tested positive. All it takes is one. Again, 5 to 7 days for it to start coming up. They had more players that went into health and safety protocols just before the game started. Just before the game started. Now today, players that played against the Wizards for the Kings are now entering into health and safety protocols. Player safety is supposed to be paramount. Player safety is supposed to matter. Does it? What means more? We're going to see it in action really, really soon. And I'm seeing all of the tremendous comments. DJ, I'm seeing your comments. You're on point. Joy is on point. I know folks are kind of quiet because we're talking about something that is serious. And I'm going to always address the serious topic of what's good for humanity, not what's good for our pleasure and enjoyment, because that's what we do here. That's all well and good, too. That's fun, too. But, hey, I'm looking at DJ's comment here. Hey, look, we're going to see what the NBA decides as well. Moving around, shaking, and it's the holidays. Folks want to get together, right? But can you really? It's a lot to be seen because we're seeing teams having to move forward with depleted staff. So it's going to be something. Wizards out West Coast. We'll have to talk more in depth about the Wizards as time goes on, because if the Wizards do end up impacted by COVID at any point in time in the near future, then any kind of halt or discussion around what's going on with the Wizards, we're just gonna have to hold off on that, because the reality is the Wizards are losing their steam right now, right? And they have been. We talked about this previously and before, but whatever is going on with the Wizards, they could just be hitting a slump. As Brad likes to say, he got to try to get the fun back. Spencer Dinwiddie, I know, is not giving all that folks were hoping he would currently. And it just seems like the energy is completely off with the team. And maybe who knows at what point the energy with that team started to fade. Because even from a chemistry perspective and what they were doing together, at some point it just got. And hey, one of those things could be the season just started going on. This is something that I shared with you all. This is why I don't give my assessments until December, because you give teams an opportunity to figure you out. Everybody's figuring it out. Everything is gelling, right? Some quicker than others. But you start to, film. Understand how to defend you. Understand how you move your nonverbal cues when you off. Right? That could be what's going on with the Wizards, but from an energy perspective, something just seems to be off. And perhaps that energy perspective is off just because now teams have figured out how to beat you. We've been playing long enough now. Oh, we figured it out. Could be that. But I want to watch the rest of this. And I want to watch and see and just say, hey, what's going on with this team? Really? Because the energy absolutely left the building. But it could just be you're getting beat now. And that could absolutely be all that it is to it. You all, more to be seen. More to be seen. Have to address the breaking news of these COVID outbreaks. That's important. That is paramount. And because of who we are at CWall Sports and Entertainment, and one of our teams is being greatly impacted by it, you have to address that first. That is important. People's health are at stake and we care. So, gotta address that first. Keep our eyes out on the rest of the Wizard season. I'm sure there'll be more to address with that one, because I want to see how they respond. I listened to all of their press conferences. Of course, I'm an attendant in those press conferences. I'm there. I'm listening. And so it's not like they aren't aware. I could see if they were not able to say we're not playing good right now, but they know. Who are they in the face of adversity? Folks have found you out. They figured out how to beat you. But are you going to continue to improve and not settle for where you may not be as strong? Again, we're just going to keep watching the Wizards. Not going to panic just yet. Going to keep watching the Wizards. Absolutely. Keep our eyes open. You all. Definitely some heavy topic and conversation tonight. We know we always got to get into it. We're not going to shy away from the heavy topics. And we address them tonight for certain on the heaviness for sure of what's happening in the COVID outbreaks. You guys listen, continue to be safe. Please be safe. All the well wishes to you and your families for certain. You all listen, more to come as always. Thank you all for watching, and I'm going to see you guys very soon.
You're not on the field or ice. You're on the couch. From DMV to DC, this is Coaching from the Couch with your host, CWall. delivering coverage for all DC sports teams from the hometown perspective.